You know, at the heart of it, this is what the epidemiologists are telling us, is that human health and planetary health and well-being are intimately connected. And at the root cause of it, well, the secular epidemiologists, this is what they do. So they say the cause of the cause actually comes back to this whole economic growth, this insatiable desire and want for more. But you know what? You can actually step back one step further than that. The secular epidemiologists, they talk about this, you know, economic growth as the root cause. But you know what? From a Christian worldview, and you know, and I make no apologies to the fact that I approach it from that, and you know, Avondale is here and represents that. We actually there's almost a cause of that. You know, there's a next step back, and what is that? Well, you know, I believe that at the cause, what's the root cause? What is it that drives economic growth, that drives all these things and this suffering in human health and well-being and planetary health and well-being? Beyond that, it's actually this almost this self-centered absorption, you know, about it's me. It's actually me. And I can't let you off the hook, it's you too. You know, it's actually something about us that wants more. We want bigger. We want better. And in fact, there's this great book that's written, it's called Affluenza by Clive Hamilton and Richard Dennis, and it's worth a read. And what they define affluenza here, and it sounds like influenza, and what they say, it actually is, it's this condition that we have. And here's how they describe it. You know, it's the painful, contagious, socially transmitted condition of overload, debt, anxiety and waste, resulting from the dogged pursuit of more. The dogged pursuit of more. You know, at the root cause of all of this is that. You know, and what that does is change the game a bit for me. You know, because what it does is, yeah, you're right, I can look over and go, well, they're not doing anything. You know, well, look what's happening over there. You know, it's not like they're taking responsibility. But you know what, I'm actually not responsible for them. Yeah, great if we can lobby and we can campaign and they can get governments to enact so people have to do certain stuff which is good for us and good for the planet. But you know, at the end of the day, it's actually really about me. You know, and it's only the personal responsibility that I can take. And I want to throw that back to you. You know, so what we've been talking about this whole, you know, semester really is this whole notion of well-being. But at the end of the day, it's stuff that you can do. You know, and so I want to challenge you with that. What can you do? And what I love, and this is, you know, to conclude, is that I am an Adventist. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. I've been that all my life. But what I believe is that the Adventists have a unique contribution to make. And I actually believe that God has, you know, different denominations and he gives them different flavours, different things for them to do. What I believe he gave to the Adventist church is this unique flavour of health and well-being. Because, you know, what happened is the Adventist church was formed in 1863, and 1 month after it was formed, there was this emphasis that was created on health and well-being. And in fact, this is historically, it's now known, you may have heard of this terminology, as this Adventist health message. And how do you sum it up? What is the Adventist health message? Well, it's this. This is how it's summed up. This is a book that was published back in 1905. So we're talking well over 100 years ago, before all of this stuff that we're facing today came to become a problem. And look at this. Look what it describes. These are described as the true remedies, right? Pure air. Pure air was everywhere back there. The turn of the 20th century, man, that wasn't an issue. Yet I find it really interesting that this was embedded into the message that we were given, or the Adventist church was given to share. Sunlight. Sunlight? Serious? What is it about sunlight? Well, you know what? We've actually been talking about this semester, haven't we? You know, these factors, these pure air, sunlight, talking about natural landscapes, natural environments. This is an intriguing one. Abstemiousness. And you've probably never heard that word before, but you know what it means? It means things in moderation. You don't need the biggest and best and greatest and the latest constantly. You know, it's actually a kickback about this insatiable, dogged pursuit of more. Right? And you know what? I actually think that that's a really important message that needs to be communicated today. right? Because at the heart of it, that's what's driving economic growth. That's what's driving suffering human well-being and planetary well-being. But there's other things there. Rest. And we've spoken about this in class, this whole idea of sleep. But not just sleep, but work-life balance. You know, obviously a really important ingredient of the Adventist take on lifestyle is that whole notion of Sabbath, you know, that day off a week. And take the religious connotations away from it, just as a principle for achieving rest, work-life balance, reconnecting with family and all the rest of it. Profound. Exercise. This fascinates me. They use the word exercise. You know what? In the 1905, everyone was busy. Let me tell you, there was no machines, there was no cars. We were active, and yet even then, there was this message about promote exercise. Proper diet, and the proper diet, Adventists historically have adopted this plant-based whole food diet. And this is why, you know, all these things coming together, this is why the Adventist sort of community have actually been recognised as the longest living people on earth. The sad reality is that we're losing that. Right? There's actually, it's really quite tragic. You know, National Geographic in 2005 ran a whole article on the blue zones, you know, places in the world where people live a really long period of time. They featured the Adventist community in California because they live sometimes up to 14 years longer than their neighbours. And that's a great story. There's so many of them that are centenarians, live into their hundreds and beyond. But what's happening is that the young Adventists, we don't know this stuff anymore. You know, there's this rich heritage that has been lost, or is being lost. And so they're not enjoying the same sort of health benefits. So, you know what I want to say to you is that this stuff, you know, that I'm really, really passionate about, is actually comes back at the end of the day to personal responsibility. You know, it's about you guys. It's about us and the difference that we can make. And so, you know, I'm hoping throughout the course of this semester, you know, I've sort of presented to you the latest understandings on our stuff, but at the end of the day, it boils down to really simple practices into a large extent. And pulling back, you know, I've spoken about the idea of just getting outside, you know, using your feet, just these simple lifestyle patterns, getting back to an older way of living in a sense. And yeah, there's great things about our modern environment and our modern living, and you know, we don't need to part with that. But hey, you know what? Just keep it in check. You know, particularly that word abstemiousness. That's really, really powerful to me. I want to finish. I'm finishing now, but hey, I just want to share with you my personal story really quickly, because I suppose this is what culminates for me and has brought me to this space. And maybe, you know, if give you a perspective about why I'm here and why I do this and why I'm so passionate about it. I have always been interested in health and wellbeing. So it's just been something, even as a young kid, I remember I was just really intrigued by how do you live life to the full? You know, how do you actually get the most out of life? How do you experience a really rich quality of life? And so I went through school. I was a pretty average student. I'm not saying this stuff to boast, by the way, but I'm just telling you the reality of my story. So I was a pretty average student, like average in my class the whole way through. In year 10, I actually started getting quite interested in spiritual stuff. And I basically developed a real connection with God. And from that moment on, felt a sense of calling, you know, a sense of purpose. And, you know, we've spoken about this idea of meaning, you know, and this idea of having a sense of belonging to and contributing to something bigger than yourself. Well, that pretty much took over my life, this idea. And I felt very convicted that my contribution to make was to actually start to influence people in a positive way in the wellbeing space. And so, you know, there's a great parable in the Bible where Jesus tells his story, and he says that he takes people, and if they use their talents in the right ways, and you know, and that he actually grows them for you. And you know, I feel unbelievably richly blessed in my life, because what happened from about, you know, year 10, my grades just started going nuts. And I ended up by duxing my school. Then in year 12, I decided what I want to do. I actually want to study health and PE. I want to be a PE teacher because I thought that would be a great way to contribute. And so I was living in Victoria, I called up Avondale and I said, hey, tell me about your health and PE course. And they said, we don't have one. And I went, what? I said, how can the Adventist church, like, we're all about health and wellbeing. That's our flavour. That's our distinctive flavour. That's what we're meant to contribute and share. How can we not have a course in health and PE? And they said, we just don't. And so I hung up the phone. I said to my mum, I said, that is nuts. I said, you know what? One day I'm going to go up there and help set one up. Right, just in all my ignorance, this is in year 12. So anyway, I went off to university, which is a story in itself. I got really good grades. I got really good grades, and I thought I was going to go to this local university, which was just near my home. But it turns out that God, I believe, had different plans for that. I actually got an interview at another university, which was about 3 hours from my home, and I thought, man, I'm not going to go there. And they called me up. This is before the offers came out, where they tell you what institution you got in. And anyway, I thought, I'm not going there. And then I spoke with my dad, and because they wanted me to come and have this interview. And I'm thinking, why am I interviewing? I'm not even going to go there because I've got enough marks to get into this place. And anyway, Dad said to me, he said, I tell you what, if you want to go there for the interview, I'll take a day off work and you can drive. And I just got my L plates, and I thought, oh yeah. So I took this day off work, went to this university at Ballarat for this interview. Had the interview. I didn't really care. I thought, because it's no big deal. I'm going to that place. And I remember walking out the Ballarat University. There's the university here, and there's the campuses here. The residence, and there's this lake with a bridge over it. And you're gonna think I sound nuts when I say this, but I'll tell you anyway. We walked out on this bridge, and I was standing there, looking out over the water, and the university was there, and the residence halls were over there, and Dad was. I don't know what he was doing. And as I looked out, it was like it was audible to me. And this voice just said to me, you're coming here. And I just remember I went, whoa, like that, because I thought Dad had said it, and Dad's looking off into space. And I went, man, oh, and it was seriously just, and then I thought, that's nuts, I'm not coming here. Anyway, it turns out through processing errors, I didn't get into that place when I should have. I had well and truly enough marks to get in there. And lo and behold, I wound up at this place. And so I went to Ballarat, did my BEd, which was my 4-year course. At the end of the course, I got a job at a local, back near home, at a local Christian school, which was a PE teacher for K to year 12. And I thought, this is just perfect. I love this. This would be a great school. In the January of that year, I got a phone call from the school because I thought, I don't even know. I think I started on the 14th of January. I got a call from the school, and they said, Darren, we've got some really bad news for you. And I've just gone, oh crap, this doesn't sound good. And they said, you know what, our student numbers have fallen off and we don't have a job for you anymore, because they were putting on this new position. And I've just gone, thanks for that. Because I hadn't applied for any other positions. I just thought, this is really bad. What do I do? All the jobs had gone. That afternoon, Ballarat University calls me up and says, hey Darren, this is a really long shot, but you know what, we actually would like to develop a master's program, and we're just wondering, we've offered it to the top 2 grads from last year, whether they'd be interested in doing a master's. And I went, you know what, I don't even know what a master's degree is. I have no idea why I ever need one of them. But I've just run out of options. All the jobs are gone. And they said, well, if you come and do your master's here, we'll give you a tutor position so you can, just teach in that. And I said, all right, sign me up. So I went to Ballarat for 2 years, and I studied my master's in exercise science. And then in the September of my second year, I thought I'll start applying for positions now. I'd definitely be able to get a good, teaching job. And I used to go to this little country church in Victoria. We went in, there's about 10 people there, sat on this pew, and this old lady comes up to us and she goes, someone said that Darren should look in the back of The Record, which is like this church magazine that came out. Anyway, I opened the page there, and on the back it said, Avondale College is seeking to set up a health and PE course, and they're looking for someone with expertise in the area of exercise sciences, preferably with a master's degree, and I'm just reading this thing just going, you've got to be kidding me. And I look over at Mum, and she just starts crying. She goes, you're going. So that was 23 years ago. So I got the job here at Avondale, and we set up a PE course, which has been happening now for 23 years. More recently, we've helped set up a lifestyle medicine course. And now I'm here with you guys in front of you. And you know what, I feel like, I feel amazingly blessed and to interact with the likes of you and share with you what I feel really God has put on my heart to give you. So I hope that throughout this semester, you've been able to pick up on stuff that benefits you, but I want you to take it to that next step. I come from a worldview where I believe absolutely every single person has some unique contribution to make. And so I really want to encourage you to take that personal responsibility. Seek out what it is. There's something there for you. And when you discover it, then just go all out. Really embrace it and share it. And make the world a better place. Because, man, the world needs it in a really bad way. Thanks for listening, folks, for bearing my soul in front of you.